Thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 4. I am Frank of Malapi, and here are some of the stories we're filing at this time. The Independent National Electoral Commission says the alleged mass theft of permanent voter cards by politicians in Borno will not affect the conduct of next month's general elections. The People's Democratic Party and All Progressive Congress have been pointing their accusing fingers at each other for the alleged theft of the PVCs. Borno INEC resident electoral commissioner Tukru Saad, while speaking in Maiduguri, says the alleged theft will add no advantage to the perpetrators. He added that stealing or hijacking PVCs will not give added advantage to any political party during the election. He, however, advised individuals whose PVCs are missing to exercise patience or take part in the continuous voter registration to get captured for the polls. He also admitted that some polling units in the state were not presented with PVCs due to technical hitch. With few weeks to the general elections, many Abuja residents who have been reluctant to pick their permanent voter cards are now showing more interest. The human traffic at the ward offices of the Independent National Electoral Commission has increased considerably. There are also others who first they could still register for an election that is less than a month away. The report.
When INEC announced that it will be issuing permanent voters' cards, skeptics were quick to conclude that people may not pay attention to the matter until it becomes late. But the situation in Abuja is different, as INEC ward offices are now besieged by people.
The present exercise is very impressive. Unlike before, there was a time we were here for like 4 weekends, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. That is in November. Then we hardly have like 50 in a day. But from December, that's after the primaries, there was a high turnout of people coming to Karo office to collect their voters card. So from there, we were asked to come near the neighborhood in order to make it very accessible for people. And since when we started on Friday, the turnout has been very impressive.
Not everyone, however, agrees with the Cherry report on PVC collection, especially as the House of Representatives is pushing for temporary voters' cards to be used for the forthcoming elections.
Yeah, there is not a problem like that, but they told me that I should go back where I did it before.
Where did you do it before?
I did it at Apple.
During that period, when I go out to get the thing, because of the much crowd, you understand, so the thing has started affecting my business, so I have to stay back because of the thing.
I did register my voter's card, so when the register was in school at Nasarawa State, so they explained everything to me that I cannot collect if I collect my voter's card there, that is where I will vote, and I'm not staying there, I'm staying at Abuja. So I say when I come back I will do my registration. When I came back they were not doing it again, so I have to wait to another turn.
Also worrisome is the case of those who have already moved from their states of registration. There are also others who are seeking opportunity to register anew.
My problem is that I have not registered and I want to register and I want to vote. And then more than a month now I've been moving around. They will tell me I should go to Karo. I live in Maraba. I went to Karo the other day. When I get there, I asked the woman that, look, I was directed here to come and register. And we are more than that day, we are more than 100. So we stand and the other woman came and said, no, they have stopped the registration, that we should go to INEC office. As INEC said, we should go to headquarters. I was now asking her, okay, between you and the government, who is lying now?
The problem is that I vote in Rivers State, and now I'm in Abuja. I want to collect it in Abuja. They said that I should go to Rivers State.
But INEC is insisting that only the PVC would be acceptable for the election. And with more than 2 weeks to the close of the new window for collection, it is likely that more eligible voters would have their cards before January 31.
With less than a month to the February elections, the People's Democratic Party has accused State Governor Adams Oshiomhole of financial recklessness. State PDP Chairman Dan Obi, who spoke at a campaign rally in Edo South Senatorial District, alleged that Governor Oshiomhole wasted about 200 million naira alone for Christmas. A correspondent has more into this report.
This is a campaign rally of the PDP in Ovia Northeast and Ovia Southwest local government area of the state. With many powerful faithful, leaders, supporters, and various aspiring candidates on hand, it represents a perfect opportunity for a drive by the state governor, Adams Oshiomhole. Dan Obi, state PDP chairman, did not mince words. He urged the people of the state to vote against financial recklessness, which the APC represents, presenting vouchers allegedly used by the state government to chants from the crowd.
Government will come, government will go, but those states will remain. Adams Oshiomhole is not the first governor in Edo State, and he will not be the last in Edo State. But we pray and we believe with your support, it will be the last time APC people will occupy that government house.
He says a vote for his party will lead the state to prosperity.
When you vote the PDP members into the State House of Assembly, you will be voting men and women who will go there not only to represent you, but to ensure that the present plan by Adams Oshiomhole's government to sack 9,000 teachers will never come to fruition.
The rally was also used to present the party's candidate to the people in the senatorial district.
And our former Minister of Sports, Samaila Sambawa, says there was no truth in reports suggesting that he has dumped the People's Democratic Party. He says he would not bow to any amount of inducement aimed at luring him out of the party. Sambawa, in a statement in Abuja, says he remained committed to working for the success of the PDP in the forthcoming general elections. He says he does not have any reason to ditch a political party that created for him the platform upon which he has tested and enjoyed the support of his political followers. He also assured his supporters and party faithful of his unalloyed support and commitment to the success of the party at the general elections. The People's Democratic Party has alleged that Babatunde Fashola, the governor of Lagos, and other all-progressive Congress leaders are opposed to the candidature of Muhammadu Buhari and have indeed abandoned his campaigns for the February 14 presidential election. Speaking on Saturday, PDP spokesman on the summit said most leaders of the APC did not believe in the personality of Buhari, resulting in flip-flops and double standard that had been the fate of his presidential campaign. He said while key APC leaders such as former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Kano State Governor Rabiu Kwankwaso, and presidential aspirant Simon Daisaya have since abandoned Buhari and his campaign to an inclement fate, Fashola has not been able to hide his preference for a younger, more educated and more articulate president who is able to connect with the current generation of citizens as embodied in President Goodluck Jonathan. He also added that recently in his failed attempt to discredit the PDP Lagos State governorship candidate Jimmy Agbaje, Fashola betrayed himself by stating that Agbaje, who is only 57 years, was too old to govern Lagos State. This, he says, is the height of hypocrisy considering the fact that the same Fashola is on the other hand campaigning for his 73 years Buhari to become the president of Nigeria. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola and the APC governorship candidate in the state Akinwumi Ambode have called on Nigerians to vote for all candidates of the All Progressive Congress in the February 2015 general elections. They made the appeal at the Ikorodu mega rally and added that voting out the PDP at the federal level is the only way to rescue the country from its current economic and security woes. Our correspondent Abiola Oluwale's report is presented from our studios.
Less than a month to the general elections, political gladiators across the different parties are crisscrossing the length and breadth of the country with aim of selling their programs to the electorate. The Ikorodu mega rally of the APC is to galvanize support for its presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari, the Lagos gubernatorial candidate and other flag bearers of the party. Addressing party faithful, Governor Fashola maintains voting for the APC is the only way to liberate the country from the shackles of what he called underdevelopment and insecurity.
They want to increase tariff on imported vehicles. What that means is that when you buy vehicles for public transportation, you are going to pay 70% duty. Is that in the interest of transporters? Have they finished Lagos-Ibadan Expressway? Have they done Benin on the Expressway? Do you see my 12 Ikorodu Road? Do you like it? Do you want more?
The Lagos State APC governorship candidate Akinwumi Ambode promised that if voted into power, he will continue the developmental strides of the current administration.
From 2007, Governor Raji Fashola has been so fantastic that we have continued to grow in leaps and bounds. Now what do we want in the next 4 years? Do we want trial and error? Do we want them to come and do it the way they are doing Abuja? So what should we do? We must vote APC. You know, we brought so much to the road construction in all the axes in Ikorodu. We are going to improve on it. We'll go further to the inner roads.
As the day of the election draws close, it is expected that the electorate will be bold enough to vote for politicians with meaningful programs to turn their lives around.
APC chieftain and senator representing Kwara Central Senatorial District Bukola Saraki has urged Nigerians to vote en masse for Muhammadu Buhari and the All Progressive Congress for what he describes as better management of the country. Speaking at the flag-off of the party's campaign ahead the February elections, Saraki says Nigeria needs a good manager at the center, adding that the PDP has failed Nigerians, thus making APC the only party with all the resources to move the country forward.
You promised security. Is there security today? You promised power. Is there light today? You promised the fight of corruption. Is it here today? You promised job for all our youth. Any job today? We are talking about who will make Nigeria better. Nigeria has to be better. For many years, Nigeria must get better. And it's time for us to vote for that party and for that person that will make Nigeria better. It is a belief that Nigeria will only be better under a party led by APC, government of APC, led by Muhammadu Buhari, and in the Kwara State, having a governor, Abdul Fattah led as a governor.
And the Congress says Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital has discredited the purported report that its presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari has cancer. This, according to the party's presidential campaign organization, shows that the trending report credited to a source in the hospital is fake and disdainful. It said in a statement by its spokesman Garuba Shehu that Buhari has not visited the teaching hospital in the last 5 years, while wondering how the same hospital could have diagnosed him with cancer 3 months ago. Shehu also insisted that Debala Mohammed, who was said to have signed the report, is not on the staff list of the hospital. He added that the letterhead used is not the regular one used by the hospital. You're watching CoreTV News. We'll take a break shortly. We'll be back with more stories. Do join us again.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Glad to have you again on CoreTV News at 4, broadcasting live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. For more information on our news and other programs, like our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also follow us at CoreTV News NG. And our YouTube page is youtube.com/CoreTV. Leave a space, the news. And now, Senate President David Mark says the People's Democratic Party will not allow the opposition or Progressive Congress rig it out of power at the general elections in February. He has therefore asked the party members to work hard in order to guarantee victory at the various stages of the elections. Mark stated this on Saturday while addressing PDP stakeholders from the Federal Capital Territory and state and the North Central Zone in Abuja. The Senate President said anybody or party planning electoral malpractices should think otherwise because the PDP is committed to a free, fair, credible and acceptable elections. He, however, asked his party members not to take anything for granted, just as he stressed the need for them to strategize and reach out to the electorate ahead the polls. He acknowledged the challenges posed by the opposition parties, but expressed optimism that the PDP has lived up to its billings in terms of delivery of dividends of democracy to Nigerians are positive evidence that it would do more if given another mandate. The movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta has denied claims that it has issued an ultimatum to ex-militants to oppose the presidential ambition of Muhammadu Buhari. Men insisted that the comments published by the national newspaper on Friday did not emanate from the group. He said in a statement issued by his spokesman, Jomogbomo, that the ex-generals mentioned in the report are not part of the ment. The Niger Delta Group noted that since its endorsement of the All Progressive Congress presidential candidate, several attempts have been made to discredit it by several individuals and groups. He added that it was disappointed that the media outlet did not deem it fit to confirm the authenticity of the statement before publishing it. They're saying that there is no permanent friend in politics, but permanent interest is already playing out in Ekiti State. Now, the Ekiti State Labour Party and the All Progressive Congress have engaged in what was described as a possible cooperation on the presidential ambition of the APC ahead the February polls. Following this development, the Deputy National Chairman of the APC and former Governor of the state, Shagoni, met with former chieftain of the party and Labour Party leader, Okpayemi Bamidele, in a strategic meeting at Inyekiti, country home of the latter. And correspondent Rashid has more.
There once political enemies before and during the June 21st governorship election in Ekiti State last year have suddenly become birds of a feather. With the Labour Party not having a presidential candidate, the Ekiti LPC is banking on this to woo its former bigwig, Okpayemi Bamidele, to join forces with it at the 2015 general elections.
So when you see me here, you shouldn't be surprised. Okay. The way we have come here, I've come to pay solidarity, to greet my leaders, and to say that let us have a future together. And whichever way you interpret that, let us have a future together.
In the words of Bamidele, the meeting has become imperative following what he tagged political alignment at this time.
You know, definitely a lot of things are going on in Nigeria. Part of what is going on too is a lot of political realignment, you know, which is an integral part of any form of democratic growth. Nigeria cannot be an exception to it. And in a matter of days, Labour Party Ekiti State will be addressing, you know, Nigerians, of course through you, gentlemen of the press, as to where we stand on these issues.
Bamidele, while denying speculations of a return to the APC, says the meeting was strictly a national discourse. The possibility, however, may not be ruled out when pressed further.
We are convinced that every politics is local. Every politics is local. So what do Ekiti people want? I'm home for consultation, and this is part of the consultation that is going on. I will consult. We will also be consulted, and Engineer Shagoni coming here today is part of that, you know, process, you know, and consultation. He has addressed us. We heard him out, and we will deliberate. And definitely we have told him we'll get back to him.
The development has obviously positioned Bamidele as the beautiful bride of Ekiti politics. Rashid, CoreTV News, in Ekiti.
The recent visit of the presidential candidate of the APC and PDP to Osun State have begun to take their toll on the political landscape, especially in the Osun Central Senatorial area. Supporters of the candidate of the PDP and APC have embarked on the destruction of each other's posters and billboards in Osogbo. Our correspondent Rashid met with the affected senators and files in this report.
Electoral violence has become a major source of concern for political stakeholders ahead of the 2015 general elections. Osogbo, the Osun State capital, was almost losing its peace to party thugs backing the two senatorial candidates of the two leading parties in Osun Central Senatorial District during the week as it hosts the two leading presidential candidates. The two senatorial candidates were badly affected as their posters and billboards were destroyed. The tension that accompanied the confusion is yet to die down as the two continue to trade accusations.
In my heart when I saw the way some people destroyed the billboard of my major opponent. It really saddened my heart. I didn't expect that to happen, and I don't know who did it, but I get to know that it was their people that did it, because before morning, all my billboards are gone too.
What their claims are false, and we leave them to their own lies. May God rescue them. I just tell them that the Bible says they should remember that every liar will have his portion in the lake of fire.
But for the timely intervention of major stakeholders, the situation would have degenerated into a major crisis.
I am convinced that the people of Osun Central will vote for me because of who I am, not because of which party I belong to. If I should contest an election as an independent candidate, I will win convincingly, because I know that I have touched the life of my people, and my people believe in me.
In the history of Nigeria, Osun has never been represented by a better cadre of people than is now representing them in the National Assembly.
Already, the State Police Command is talking tough and warned that no politician will be treated with a kid glove. All electoral offenders will be prosecuted, according to the state's Commissioner of Police, Abubakar Barafa.
Every one of them should play the game according to the rules. There are rules and regulations this time around from INEC concerning political party activities, rallies, campaigns, etc. Whoever is seen tearing any poster should be arrested and brought to CID here.
The Police High Command had last week issued a tall order to state police commands across the country to deal severely with anybody creating problem in the name of political violence. Rashid, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
It's CoreTV News at 4. We'll take another break shortly. We'll return with foreign stories. Join us again.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Also, Nigeria, security officials say assailants have lobbed explosive at Algeria's embassy in the Libyan capital, wounding 3 people in an attack claimed by the Islamic State jihadist group. Libya's branch says soldiers of the caliphate will attack the empty mission. Is a message posted on Twitter together with a photograph of a tree-lined street with a fire in the background. There was no independent confirmation of the claim reported by the US-based monitoring group Site Intelligence. This is posted a similar claim for a December 27 last year car bomb attack outside the building of a Libyan unit tasked with securing diplomatic missions that left no casualties, Site reported at the time. The security official who works for the unit says Saturday's attack in central Tripoli seriously wounded a guard and that 2 passersby were slightly hurt. Medical sources also confirmed it all. The assailants threw a bag full of explosives from a passing car at a police car parked near a guard post, he said, adding that the attack caused damage to building and parked cars. Foreign Minister Ramtane Lamrao of neighboring Algeria condemned the bombing. Saturday's attack came a day after a coalition of militias declared a ceasefire hours after an agreement at UN broker peace talks in Geneva between Libya's warring factions. And that's a wrap on CoreTV News at this time. Many thanks for watching. I am Frank Omalape. I'll see you again.